namaskar and a very warm welcome to LPU Talks. At LPU Talks, we go beyond headlines. We engage with ideas, challenges, and conversation that are shaping world today. From pressing global issues to evolving geopolitical realities, this is a platform where perspectives are examined, opinions are shaped, and meaningful dialogue takes center stage. I am Kajal Goswami, your host for today's session, and it is truly an honor to welcome a distinguished diplomat and strategic thinker, Mr. Rahul Chhabra, former ambassador of India to Hungary, Kenya, and Somalia, strategic advisor, and former secretary in the Ministry of External Affairs. Sir, we are truly honored to have you with us. Welcome to LPU Talks. It is my esteemed honor to welcome Mr. Rahul Chhabra, diplomat and a representative of India in Hungary, Kenya, and Somalia. And this is me, Kajal Goswami, your host for today's discussion. We welcome you to LPU Podcast, sir.
Lovely to be here, Kajal.
My first question to you would be, as a former ambassador to Hungary, Kenya, and Somalia, plus Secretary Economic Relations, what unexpected lessons from those postings most shape your views on India?
I think the feeling that we often don't have is that how big we are, how strong we are. So that we often go in with a tentative feeling, and then what shapes your view is when you realize the other side is, so much. Let's not say in awe of India, but they have so much of respect for India, for India's views, which we don't really realize that and don't internalize it. So your India's positions are very much sought after, respected, regarded, and followed very often. So they are wanting that guidance. That what does a big power like India, an old power, a civilization. We don't take hasty decisions. They will not be wrong decisions. They will be morally correct. India will take a correct, fine-tuned balancing. I think all that is there's a little. We seem to ignore that. So I think that was a great learning experience from when you go into meetings with these people that you feel come back quite proud about.
Okay, sir. Sir, so we all are very well aware that India right now is the fourth largest economy in the world. And soon I believe it's going to be third largest within few years, let's say. So, but being the largest economy, India still struggle with some basic problems, to have a proper livelihood and basic problems like job. So what's your say on that?
Yeah, we have unfortunately, it's not only the size of the economy which matters, as any student of economics will tell you. It's the per capita income also, which is very important, probably more important than the size of the economy. So while we are happy and should celebrate the size of the economy, we shouldn't forget that in per capita income terms, we are not really right up there. And for jobs to come, ease of living to come, being comfortable, sort of leading good lives with good career aspirations for the new generation. So you need a very strong per capita income growth, which has not coming about. So that's another topic for another debate, why it's not coming about and what we need to do about it. But we shouldn't get complacent with just the overall size of India, because that is going to be with 1.4 billion people. Our overall economic size will, of course, become fourth to third. It will keep improving. But then it's the per capita income that really needs to be looked at.
That's very well said, sir. And as we mentioned that, you have represented India in Somalia as well. So one thing that a lot of people had the same questions, how can India contribute to Somalia's development process when its people, and Somalian pirates is a very common thing we come across. So, what do you think about Somalian pirates and the trade between India and Somalia?
So, in fact, I'm one of the few ambassadors who's been to Somalia and traveled across different cities of Somalia and all that. So we can contribute in terms of it's really a developing country, much like, let's say, India 40 years back or 50 years back. So they're very poor and backward in that sense. So they don't have to reinvent the wheel for a lot of aspects. So we can and we do contribute in sharing our technical expertise, our knowledge, development finance. So in terms of small things of irrigation, health, women's welfare, spreading that and doing projects in those fields, so, and for which they are very grateful. Including during COVID, we actually did online courses by Indian doctors and nurses, and that was picked up by Somalians sitting there, and they started understanding how to deal with COVID. It was a big thing under our e-ITech program. So it was all done through online means. But otherwise, a lot of Somalians come to India and paid for by the government of India, fully trained in India. Going back to the piracy issue, it's sort of died down now. It is the traditional thing, the Somali pirates. But India has contributed, one of the few countries, since 2008. We have had one ship non-stop sailing with what is called the NAV4. That's an EU force. And an Indian ship for the last, therefore, 16, 17 years, we have, on rotation basis, obviously, has been sailing to patrol those waters. So the Somali piracy has gone down considerably. In fact, now the piracy has moved to the West African coast, to the other side, and this East African has gone down. And one last instance is like why somebody feels that, Somalia, nothing much, what do you do and all that. So when I went there, I set up, in fact, it was very interesting. It was a small town called Garaway, where I landed on the airport with my wife, and it was everyone was shocked to see me, my wife, and all that. Walking to the lounge, to the airport lounge and this thing, people started singing Bollywood songs who were standing there because they knew Indian ambassador has come and they had come to India, trained and all that. So in this town like Garaway, people are singing, Bollywood songs. Then I set up a friendship association there of India-Somalia Friendship Association. And then, of course, I left. We gave them some funding. They did it. And all. 3 years later, the ambassador there told me that, Rahul sir, what you did that time, it came most of use because, again, another ship was sort of picked up somewhere, and there were some Indian sailors there. And nobody knew what to do, how to get to the bottom of it. Then somebody told them that, look, we have set up this India-Somalia 3 years, 4 years back. It was set up when Ambassador High Commissioner Rahul Chabra went there. So why don't we contact them? They contacted them, and it seemed that that group opened so many doors and channels of communication, negotiation, all that. We finally were able to get our sailors back from those pirates, thanks to this group, which was just randomly set up. So you never know how things work out, where it benefits. You just do what is to be done, in that sense, the good deed. And after that, this worked out so quickly that I felt so nice that, I took this effort. Otherwise, nobody had ever been to that town. Nobody had set up this thing. So it was just, one of those things.
Very well said, sir, and I agree. And like the thing that caught my eye was like them singing Bollywood songs when you were.
Imagine landing in Gaurav. I was shocked. I was just looking around and what is that? Then they told me that, we've all been there and so we all know, of course, and all that. And so much, they're like, so much respect they showed to me because it was like, I mean, commissioners come all the way to Garaway and, so it was very heartening to see that sense of positive feeling that they went back.
Definitely a very overwhelming feeling.
Correct.
Do you think India's multi-alignment approach, and since your ambassadorship, what were the risks that polarized the world? I mean, like world through your eyes as ambassador of India.
Every country is, unfortunately, in today's world, getting more and more polarized, both internally, and the world seems to be also getting divided. And what seems to be happening is what they call a G2 world. The US one side and the China one side, both in terms of economic power and technology. More important, technology. So we in India need to decide either we going this way or we are going that way, or we are forming our own way, a third way. So that's where the multi-alignment or another alternative. So we are obviously, because being so old and our own civilization, our own sense of what we do and what we belong, are trying to carve our own path. But do we have the resources? Are we properly aligned? Are we sort of, following that path fully? That's where the conflict will come. And both the other big players will obviously want us on their side, so to speak. But then if we are going to do our own side, which we've always done, like the non-alignment was always not aligned, now it's multi-alignment, so it's, so we have to take that, that's a big risk, but once we take that path and we are following that path, then we have to stick to the path.
So last but not the least, one advice that I would like to take home, something that you would like to tell the university students about what's happening globally amid the global tensions, who look forward to have a career in field of geopolitics and international relations.
Yeah, sometimes it can feel quite overwhelming what's happening, and you wonder that where we are headed and what's actually going to happen. But I think what I would like to leave is with a sense of optimism and positivity, that while this whole play is going on, many different windows are opening for us, and many doors are opening maybe, so not just windows. So we need to grab those chances and grab those opportunities and not let them slip by, which we may have done in the past, but now is not the time to do that. So, and it is the youngsters, people from your university like LPU and all, who are going to be there taking decisions, making the moves. So they need to be, just keep their ears and eyes open to the ground, get a good sense and pulse of the feel of what's happening. It's not. It is difficult, but it's not impossible to understand how things are moving, and then just make the right move for the country, for themselves, and in the end it pans out.
Okay, sir, thank you so much. So, with this, we come to an end, and I would like to conclude this by saying, Merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Merci beaucoup, madame, mademoiselle. Je savais pas que vous parlez français, mais c'est bien.
You have just witnessed the ideas that challenge, inspire, and shaped tomorrow's world. Keep the conversation alive and keep joining us in LPU Talks.